warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. Today we are going to cover current affairs in a rather longer video than usual. So it's going to be our Independence Day current affair marathon. I hope you all watch this lecture completely and learn many new things. We'll be covering the most important current affairs from this month. First and foremost, very happy Independence Day to all of you. So on this day, the India was finally liberated from the clutches of English. This all we read in modern history. I'll be making a simple and short video for you to remember the most important events of the modern history later. For now, we'll just see what culminated into this day on the last year, that was 1947. So in February, Lord Mountbatten becomes the last Viceroy of India. This term was very important. The Governor General, Viceroy. So who was this? Who was that? Who was the Secretary? Please remember all this. In June, Lord Mountbatten proposed a plan for partitioning India into two independent states, which are India and Pakistan now, based on the religious lines. It's not on the linguistic lines. It was also a major demand of the Muslim League. The Indian leaders reluctantly agreed to this plan. In July the same year, the Indian Independence Act 1947 was passed by the British Parliament, outlining the procedure to India's independence. On August 15th, India gains its independence as the Indian Independence Act comes into effect. Jawaharlal Nehru becomes the first Prime Minister of independent India. Let us now move forward to the current affairs, which we'll be dealing with one by one. So after Moon, ISRO is gearing up to launch a mission to study the Sun. So ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, you can read about it separately, or I'll make a short video on this, when it was established, what was in COSPAR, etc. So it's preparing a new mission alongside Chandrayaan-3 aimed at studying the Sun. So what is the name? Aditya L1. Aditya also means the sun. Aditya means one that never goes to the darkness. Aditya L1 will be India's first space-based observatory for studying the sun. So it will be an observatory. The spacecraft was assembled and integrated at the U.R. Rao Satellite Center and then moved to the Satish Dhawan Space Center on August 14, 2023. So now the important things are, the spacecraft will be placed in a halo orbit around the Lagrange point L1, about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. So what are these points? This is important. These were also in news in 2022. There was a big space telescope launched in this year. So can you name the telescope in the comment section? It was James Webb Mirror Telescope. Okay. So allowing continuous solar observations without interruptions. This is the prime feature of Aditya L1. The mission aims to study the photosphere, the chromosphere, and the corona of the sun using various types of detectors. These are various different layers of the sun. The spacecraft will carry 7 payloads, with 4 directly observing the sun and 3 conducting in situ studies of particles and fields at the Lagrange point. The mission's focus includes understanding coronal heating, coronal mass ejections. This is very important. It came into Prelims question 2022, that a solar storm will have what effects on Earth, space weather dynamics and particle propagation. Furthermore, Aditya L1 shall be launched by the PSLV. Please remember this. Known for launching Chandrayaan-1 and the Mars orbital spacecraft in 2013. The launch window is expected in late August or September, following a recent successful PSLV C-56 mission in July. ISRO's chairman, S. Somanath, please remember his name also, indicated that the launch is planned for August end or early September. Now let us come and see the structure of the sun in a very brief. These are the ejections of the sun. Prominence, flare, this is coronal hole, and some sunspots. These ones. Alright. So this is the core of the sun. Sun is largely made of helium. This is the core of the sun, highest temperature. Then this is the radiative zone. This zone. Then there is convection zone. This zone. And what type of reactions take place on the sun? Nuclear fusion. Outer layers are photosphere, this one. This is visible from Earth. This is chromosphere, transition region, and corona. The corona is the outermost radiation layer of the sun. So Aditya L1 will be studying all these. Okay, let's move forward. The Tamil manuscripts from 18th century found in Armenian monastery in northern Italy. Alright, so 3 countries are involved. One is Italy, second is Armenia, and third is India. So how these countries are connected? India is here, Armenia somewhere here, Italy somewhere here. Alright, Tamil Nadu here. So palm manuscripts from 18th century titled Jnana Murichi have been discovered in an Armenian monastery in Italy. Tamil Bharatan, a doctor scholar of the Special Center for Tamil Studies in JNU, was allowed access to the manuscripts. Furthermore, what's important here, he sought the help of Margherita Trento, a professor who studied XYZ. That's not important for us. But what is important is that Roman Catholics to localize Christianity in early modern Tamil Nadu. This is important. So propagation of various religions in the India. So according to her, it could be a copy of the first translation of Ignatius' spiritual exercise in Tamil. So this translation is most likely by Michel Bertoldi. This Bertoldi, it's a common name in Italy. Known in Tamil as Jnana Prakash Swami. This is prose text from the early 18th century and has been printed several times. So this is not important for us. What's important for us is the country Armenia. Alright. So let's spot this country in the world map. So this is India. You can see the India here. Now we move to from Middle East, Asia. We move to the Eurasia. This is Turkey here. Alright, we move forward and close to here is Armenia. We'll see a detailed map later on. This is Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea, and here's Italy. Alright, let's move forward. Whenever you see the map, please always remember these lines. That which line is this? Is it equator? Or is it Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn? So we all know this is Tropic of Cancer. This is equator. This is Tropic of Capricorn. Alright. Let's move forward and see the next map. So this is Armenia. Please remember the names of the countries that surround Armenia. They are Georgia into the north, because this is an active region of conflict. Active region of conflict. So when you do the mapping, whenever you are reading the geography optional or seeing the mapping portions, then what is one thing that you must pay attention to? Always find out the active regions of conflict, because this is a favorite subtopic when you read the geography. So whether it is Ukraine, the question has come, whether it's Mediterranean Sea, whether it's a conflict between the islands in the Pacific. So question has always come and will always keep coming every year by year. What's important for us is to mark the areas in the map which are regions of active conflict. So this is Armenia here. This is Azerbaijan. These both are in conflict with each other. This is Iran, Turkey, Georgia. Alright. This is the capital of Armenia, which is Yerevan. So going further, we move on to a detailed map. So in the map, we can see the Caspian Sea here. Then there is Azerbaijan, the Russia, Georgia, Armenia. Now what this map displays is the ongoing conflict, the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. A question has also come in this, in prelims. Alright, so this is the region which is disputed. So when you are doing the mapping region, or the mapping section in the geography, then you must take care of this also, the disputed regions between countries. Alright, so this is disputed between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So let us see about this conflict. So it is a long-standing dispute between Armenia and Azerbaijan over Nagorno-Karabakh region. This region, inhabited mainly by Armenians, is claimed by both sides. So here also some religious problems is there. The conflict turned into a full-scale war in the 1990s. So it's a very old war. That means approximately 30 plus years, resulting in Armenian control over parts of Azerbaijan. In 2020, which was very recent, a major war led to Azerbaijani gains and a ceasefire agreement. However, tensions and occasional clash still continue. The conflict remains unresolved, with the region's status and security concern still causing friction between the two countries. So what are the dynamics here that we don't need to see? That why are people or who the people are going towards from the territories, whether they want to go with Azerbaijan or Armenia. It's a geographical conflict. That means we are only concerned here with the land. Alright. So what else we need to see that which countries are supporting Azerbaijan and which community is supporting the Armenia. We are talking about the international community or groups. So let us see. So supporting countries for Armenia, let's say. So Russia is one of the supporting countries for Armenia. So Armenia is a member of the CSTO, that is Collective Security Treaty Organization, a security alliance led by the Russia, which provides military and political support. Furthermore, Iran also supports Armenia. So if Armenia is here, then Russia is supporting, Iran is supporting. So Iran shares cultural and historical ties with Armenia and has provided diplomatic and economic support. Furthermore, France is supporting. France has a significant Armenian diaspora and has expressed political support for Armenia. The Greece is also supporting, as well as Syria, although Syria is itself highly unstable right now. Alright, but these countries are stable and supportive, France and Greece. Now let's see supporting countries for Azerbaijan. Okay, one more thing you see, India has also very recently deployed or exported some tanks which was manufactured in India and for Armenia. So India is also indirectly supporting Armenia. Let us go towards the countries supporting the Azerbaijan. So Turkey is one of the countries which has strong ethnic and cultural ties with Azerbaijan and has provided political and military support. Furthermore, Israel, it's maintaining a relationship with Azerbaijan, including arms sales and cooperation in various fields. So Israel, it doesn't have much, let's say, political view. It is a weapon exporter, and whoever will pay more for the weapons, it will support that. Pakistan, it is export support for Azerbaijani territorial integrity. Georgia, it shares a border with Azerbaijan and has maintained diplomatic and economic relations. So this is because of its own vulnerabilities. Ukraine has supported Azerbaijan and maintained economic ties. So very naturally, if Russia is supporting Armenia, then Azerbaijan will be supported by Ukraine. Okay, let us come to the next news. So 5% of birds in India are endemic. So what does the meaning of endemic? Endemic means that population which is only found in a certain region and not found elsewhere. A limited population. Alright. So reveals the Geological Survey of India. So a recent publication by the Geological Survey of India points out that 5% of birds found in the country are endemic, and they are not reported in any other parts of the world. The publication titled 75 Endemic Birds of India. So this is the number. This is why I have included the title. And it was released on the 108th Foundation Day of the ZSI. India is home to, see, this number is important because in interview you can be asked that how many birds, how many bird species are present in India. So we may sometimes occur to guess a rather larger number, that may be more than 5,000 species, maybe more than 6,000 species. There are close to 1,300 species. So very simple data to remember. but can be used. Okay, which represent approximately 12.40% of global bird diversity. Alright, so approximately 9,000 species should be there. So of these 1353 bird species, 78, that is 5%, are endemic to the country. So very simple data, but very important to remember. Okay, so let us see some names. So 3 species have not been recorded in the last few decades. They are the Manipur bush quail, listed as one thing you remember that whenever in UPSC you are learning a bird's name or anything, then you'll see that the birds are often named on their either the neck area. This area is either used to name them or their feathers, that how they look. Alright, so such as quail, Manipur bush quail, it is endangered by the IUCN list. Then there is Himalayan quail, this is its name, listed as critically endangered with its last recorded sighting in 1876, and the Jerdon's courser, listed as critically endangered with its last confirmed sighting in 2009. So please remember the name of these birds. Alright, two of them are quails and one is courser, Jerdon, sorry. So these are listed as critically endangered and they have not been seen in many years. That is why they become important. Okay. So the highest number of endemic species, so they are not in Himalayas. When the option comes, we get confused. It is in the Western Ghats with 28 bird species. Some of the interesting species recorded in the country's biogeographical hotspot are the Malabar grey hornbill, Malabar parakeet, Ashambhu laughing thrush, and the white-bellied sholakki. See again, bellied has come. 4 species of birds are endemic to the eastern Himalayas and 1 each to the southern Deccan Plateau and central Indian forest. Of the 78 endemic species, so see the difference. The 28 are endemic to the Western Ghats, while only 4 are endemic to Eastern Himalayas. Alright. 3 species. So these are the 3 species. Bugun lolicia or Lolishla bugunorum, Himalayan quail, Jordan's courser or Rhinopterus are listed as critically endangered. So please just remember these ones. These are very important. Just a second. Okay, so I'll just stamp something. This is important. 3 species, which one? The Jordan's courser, the Begun lolicia, and Himalayan quail. Okay, these are critically endangered species. Okay, let's move forward. So this is a repetition of the PDF, not an issue. Let's move forward. So Chandrayaan-3 set to decode Moon's South Pole secrets. So in the beginning of the PDF, in the beginning of the lecture, we saw that Aditya L1, so it has been sent towards the sun to study the sun. It's an observatory. Okay, so let's see about the Chandrayaan-3 also. So it is launched by ISRO and it is the 3rd lunar exploration mission. Chandrayaan-3, it's not an observatory, it's exploration mission. That means it will land on the surface of Moon and see things there physically. The significance of the first mission, Chandrayaan-1 in 2008, resonated worldwide as it definitively confirmed the presence of water on the Moon's surface. So this was the, you can say, achievement of Chandrayaan-1. Okay, so this is very important. So despite the landing setback of the second mission, Chandrayaan-2, its orbiter remains operational even after 4 years since its launch. Now ISRO's upcoming mission is set to build upon the accomplishment of Chandrayaan-1 and accomplish what its predecessor could not, a successful soft landing on the Moon's south polar region to investigate water ice. So what it's trying to achieve trying to discover the water ice on the south pole of the Moon. Okay, so let's say this is Moon. Alright, so it's rotating on this axis, but the south pole is not so much towards the sun, so that's why it's always hidden. And there can be remnants of the water ice there. So Chandrayaan 3 will try to find these. Okay. So what are the objectives of Chandrayaan 3? So ISRO says that there are three missions objectives of the Chandrayaan 3, and to demonstrate a safe and soft landing on the lunar surface, to demonstrate rover roving on the moon, and to conduct in situ scientific experiments. What we say in situ? In situ means in its original habitat. Okay. So how Chandrayaan 3 is different from its predecessor Chandrayaan 2? So how Chandrayaan 3 is different from its predecessor Chandrayaan 2? So orbiter exclusion. So while Chandrayaan 2 considered of an orbiter, lander, the lander's name was Vikram and rover's name was Pragyan. Chandrayaan 3 will not carry an orbiter. This is because the orbiter from the previous mission is still functional and data will be available from it. Alright, there was a landing error. If you remember in Chandrayaan 2, it just turned like this and could not get back. Enhanced launch capability. So Chandrayaan 3 is launched by the LVM-3, previously GSLV Mark III launcher, which provides a robust and powerful launch capability. So the spacecraft has increased fuel capacity, enabling it to perform additional maneuvers and travel further if required. The landing legs have also been reinforced to ensure a safer and more stable landing on the lunar surface. So learning by the example, Chandrayaan 2. So this can also be used as a case study. Okay, so the next thing is improved instrumentation. So Chandrayaan 3 features upgraded sensors. Additionally, the spacecraft is equipped with larger solar panels, which generate more energy to power its systems. A new instrument called a laser Doppler velocimeter. So Doppler effect, if you might have heard, it is basically about the echo of the sound or waves. So waves come back. So the sensor recognizes that what is the distance between this. Alright. If you have recognized the distance and time, you can of course measure the speed, that is velocimeter. Okay. So enhanced algorithmic and softwares. So lessons learned from the Chandrayaan 2 will have led to improvements in the algorithm and software of Chandrayaan 3. So this is something AI related, you can say. This is the use of AI. Chandrayaan 2 encountered a software glitch that contributed to its failure, and to avoid such issues, the algorithm and software have been refined for the new mission. Furthermore, the landing target area has been expanded from 500 by 500 meters to 4 by 2.4 kilometer, providing more flexibility in case of any unforeseen challenges during the landing process. So these you can make simple notes. What is the difference between 2 and 3? Propulsion module and payload is also different. So the propulsion module of Chandrayaan 3 is responsible for transporting the lander and rover to a lunar orbit of 100 km. These things are very important when you read about the orbits especially. Okay, see, this is very basic ideas that you must have during your UPSC preparation. That when you read the geography or physical geography, that is the first chapter, our universe, right? Even in NCERT it is given. And questions can come anytime. And apart from questions also, it deals with the general knowledge. So you should read this, that especially three things in the solar system. One is sun. Alright, one is earth and one is moon. So this you must read. Alright. There is enough distance between earth and moon that remaining all of the planets can fit between this. Alright, this is a fact. You should know what is a light year, what is an astronomical unit, what is a parsec. Okay, so these things you should remember. What is the speed of light? What is the distance taken by light? Sorry, time taken by light to reach Earth from the sun. So all these things you should remember. Apart from this also, that what is the geosynchronous orbit, especially about satellites, you must know. Okay, that what kind of orbits are there? What is the meaning of a satellite? What are the Lagrange points? L1, L2. Alright, so all these things you should know. Okay, so additionally, the mission includes the spectropolarimetry of habitable planet Earth shape payload on the module. Just remember this shape payload. So it is on Chandrayaan 3. Alright. So it focuses on studying smaller planets. Let's see what went wrong with the Chandrayaan 2. So its mission faced a setback on September 7, 2019, when the Vikram lander deviated from its intended path during the landing attempt, resulting in a loss of communication with the lander carrying the Pragyan rover. So despite this unforeseen outcome, the orbital component of Chandrayaan 2 remains operational. Okay, so this is not very significant, just that it provided a help in Chandrayaan 3. That orbiter does not have to be included. So sometimes a failure can also lead to good things. Alright, let's say you prepared for one exam, you could not take the exam, or let's say you failed the exam. Okay, let's say you could not crack the prelims 23, but you have so much of knowledge now before you start for the 24 that you are in a very positive aspect already. Okay, so it's bonus points. So just as in this case. Okay, let's see the next news. So study links endogamy to persistence of harmful genetic variants in India. So this genetic variant thing was very highly in news during the COVID. And the world will keep going through such diseases. So it must be learned what is this mutation, what is gene. So this is a general advice. CRISPR has also come into news various times. Alright, so just let me explain you here that what things are very important for us to read and what we should never skip, especially. So one thing is this genetics. So you should have a very basic idea of genetics. Basic idea means a little in-depth idea, as we are talking about UPSC. So what is DNA? What is RNA? What is gene? What is let's say basic terms related to genetics? Who was Mendel? What did he do? Alright, in which plant he conducted experiments? What did he figure out? Then you should know about the mutation, the variants, and the evolution, as well as theories of natural selection by Charles Darwin, etc. Evolution, in evolution you must read about evolution of humans. Okay, and evolution from this year only 2023, adaptive radiation question came from evolution from NCERT 12th biology. So should not skip these two chapters, genetics and evolution from NCERT biology. So that is why I am covering this news. Please take care of these things, because what happens in the exam, that there are, let's say, 100 questions. Okay, 60 questions are known by everybody. Those are serious aspirants. So they know these 60 questions. They know the 70 questions. Alright. So what happens that these 30 questions become the one decisive factor for you. These 40 questions become the one decisive factor for you. And one by one, as you keep skipping the topics, okay, let's say I did not read genetics. Okay, one question gone. I did not read evolution. Okay, one other question gone. Okay, so your chances of cracking the prelims safely. Okay, cracking the prelims safely does not mean that you just clear the cutoff. Cutoff is also defined by the number of people filling the seats. Okay, cutoff is not a natural number which is given by the examiner. Okay, you are sitting in the exam, so you just score 85 marks, you will be in. So it's not like that. Okay, cutoff can go higher also. It can go 90 also. It can go 80 also. So it depends upon whether and in what place you are falling, in what group you are falling, the yes group or the no group. Okay. So if you want to become a part of the yes group, you should focus on chapters such as these. Okay, so let's come forward. So in 2009, I studied in the Nature Genetics by a group of Kumaraswamy Thangaraj at the Center of Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad. This is also important, that where is the center located. Okay, Cellular and Molecular Biology located in Hyderabad. Reported a fascinating finding on why a small group of Indians were prone. Prones mean vulnerable to cardiac. Cardiac means related to heart. Okay, failure at the relatively young girls. So one thing is cardiac failure. In my humble opinion, you should also learn about these diseases. What is the difference between heart attack? What is the difference between cardiac failure and cardiac arrest? Okay, cardiac failure is when the heart is not pumping enough oxygen to meet the body's requirements. Cardiac arrest is when the heart completely stops beating And heart attack is when heart suddenly goes into a contraction phase and pains a lot because it is not able to supply much oxygen and works rigorously hard for that. So please see these things. Okay, cardiac failure we are talking about relatively young ages. They found that DNA of such individuals lacked some gene, some base pairs in a gene. So gene is this is DNA. Let's say this is a fragment of DNA in the picture. Then gene are located on DNA. Let's say this part of the DNA is one gene. Okay, let's say gene any. Let's say YC23. Okay, so this is let's say one gene. Now it is made of a base pair: adenosine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, uracil. Okay, so these are the base pairs which make DNA or RNA. Now the 25 base pairs were missing. So this is genetic defect basically. So what the news finds or means to say that why is this genetic defect persistent in the Indian population? So this deletion was unique to the Indian population. So deletion is also a kind of mutation. Okay, mutation means sudden genetic changes. Okay, so bearing a few groups in Southeast Asia, it was not found elsewhere. They estimated that this deletion, that is mutation, arose around 30,000 years ago. Then how come even after 30,000 years ago, it is stabilized and kept transmitting into the Indian population? Alright, so what can be the issue here? That it did not get eliminated. Okay, so shortly after people began settling in the subcontinent, that means India, and affect roughly 4% of the Indian population. So there must be many other genetic novelties that are linked to the health of the subcontinent populace. So how do we find such needles in the vast genetic haystack of this region? Okay, so let's see other news. So a recent study by another scientists at the Institute of Human Genetics, University of California, took a big stride in this direction. The researchers collected DNA from around 5,000 individuals, mainly people from across India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. This cohort also contained DNA from Malay, Tibetan, and other South Asian communities. So next they performed whole genome sequencing. This is also very important, this genome sequencing. You should read about the Human Genome Project, HGP, to identify all the instances where the DNA either showed a change, that means there was a mutation, was missing, or had additional base pairs or letters. Alright, so these are all part of mutations. You must read about mutations. This is a must read topic. Question can definitely come. Alright, so their study found a stark genetic difference between people from different regions. While this is to be expected between different countries in the region, it was actually evident even at the level of smaller geographies within India. So unbiased computational approaches showed little mixing between individuals from different communities. So this is one issue. Okay, that we are marrying the people of only our community and caste again and again and again. That is why what's happening, that let's say this individual and this individual, they are genetically close related. They again marry. So it becomes that their sons or daughters can also have the same disease or same genetic mutation. So it's a no-brainer that endogamous practices such as caste-based, region-based, and consanguineous marriages. Okay, there are few religions which do these consanguineous marriages also. In the subcontinent are responsible for such conserved genetic patterns. That means there is a conservation of the bad mutation at the community level. In an ideal scenario, there would have been random mating in a population, leading to greater genetic diversity and lower frequency of variants which are linked to disorders. That means if we go to foreign countries, maybe there is a more random mating. Okay, there is this person A, he finds a woman B. Okay, they decide to marry each other, and then there's a result of mating. Okay, it's random mating completely, not because their families arrange it for themselves. Alright. So this study also highlighted a worrying trend in Indian population compared to relatively outbred population. Outbred means which are breeding outside of their genetic zones. Okay, this is population A, this is population B. So they are breeding in, let's say, to each other, then it's outbreeding. If they are finding girls or boys inside their community only, then it's inbreeding. Like of Taiwan, the South Asia cohort, and within it, the South Indian and Pakistani subgroup showed a higher frequency of homozygous genotypes. So what is homozygous? So human typically have two copies of each gene. Alright, because there is two DNAs, let's say double-stranded DNA we have. So two copies of each gene. So because our cells are diploid also. because we have 2n cells. Okay. So I have two copies of the same variant. It is called a homozygous genotype. Most genetic variants linked to major disorder are recessive. What is recessive? Okay, these are the terms you will not realize when you just read the news. You will skip it. But when they come into the exam, we start exploring. Oh, so which chapter they came from? Then we see they came from biology chapter genetics. Okay, so next year we'll read it in 2025. So why read it in 2025? Now only read it, right? 2024. Okay. So let's see what is recessive. Let's say there are two variants of one allele of one gene. This is dominant. This is recessive. But if recessives come together, two recessive come together, then it will give the recessive effect. Let's say the gene of the tallness is dominant over the gene of shortness. But if you get married two people who are both short, then there are very high chances that their children will also be short. But if you marry a tall person with a short woman or a long tall woman with a short person, there are chances that their sons or daughters can be normal. All right. So this is the issue. When we marry in endogamous situations in our own community, then the mutations get preserved. So this also has 25 base pair deleted. She also has 25 base pair deleted. If they marry, their children will also be affected. Okay. So South Indian and Pakistani subgroups were estimated to have a high degree of inbreeding. So this I have already understood, made you understand. Okay, so expected not only did, so this is not important, but what's important is these variants can have a major effect on psychological parameters leading to, physiological parameters leading to high risk of cardiovascular disorders like heart related disorders, diabetes, cancers, and mental disorders. Okay, let's go to the next news. There will a nuclear powered rocket cut travel time to Mars by half. So we are using the nuclear power in space. Okay, so this can be used as an example of the technological advancement in 21st century. Okay, so in less than 3 years, NASA could be testing a nuclear rocket in space. The Space Agency and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. So please remember these things that let's say NASA and DARPA has this project. Okay, option will come like this is a project between NASA and JAXA. Then which is correct? Okay, so NASA and DARPA is correct. That Lockheed Martin has been selected to design, build, and test a propulsion system that could one day speed astronaut on a trip to Mars. So what is the need for this? What is the need to take nuclear fuel to the space? So BWX Technologies will be doing it. This is not important for us. A number that sums it up is 3 to 4 months to Mars. That means lesser time to travel. Travel will be happening in the lesser time duration. So what if a spacecraft could get to Mars in half the time it currently takes? So now it takes 8 months. So every 26 months or so, that means more than in 2+ years. The Mars and Earth are close enough for a shorter journey between the worlds. But even then, it's pretty long trip, lasting 7 to 9 months. For most of the time, the spacecraft is just coasting through space. But if the spacecraft could continue accelerating through the first half of the journey and then start slowing down again, the travel time could be slashed. Okay, so instead of going like this, they are going like this. Okay, this is the difference. So current rocket engines, which typically rely on the combustion of a fuel like hydrogen or methane with oxygen, are not efficient enough to accomplish this. But and there is not enough room in spacecraft to carry that much propellant that it can first accelerate and then decelerate. Okay, but nuclear reactions have the power to this, and from the splitting of uranium, I have explained this all to you when I told you about the nuclear power projects lecture. So there you can watch it. So the DRACO engine would consist of a nuclear reactor that would heat hydrogen from a chilly minus 420 degree Fahrenheit to a toasty 4400 degrees, with a hot gas shooting from a nozzle to generate thrust. Basically, it will be powered by a nuclear reactor. Greater fuel efficiency could speed up journeys to Mars, reducing the amount of time astronauts spend exposed to the treacherous environment of deep space. Treacherous means which can do treason, that means which cannot be trusted. Okay, please learn these words also. Okay, nuclear propulsion for space is not a new idea. In the 1950s and 1960s, Project Orion, financed by NASA, Air Force, and Advanced Research Project Agency, same the DRPA, contemplated using the explosion of atomic bomb to accelerate spacecraft. At the same time, NASA and other agencies also undertook Project Rover and Project Nerva. Please remember the names of these projects. The question, how can it come? That project, what is common between Project Orion, Project Rover, and Project Nerva? That they were all the projects of USSR. They were all nuclear power projects or nuclear space projects. So this all can be asked, right? So that aim to develop nuclear thermal engines similar in concept to those now being pursued by the Draco program. A series of 23 reactors will be built and tested, but none were ever launched to space. So this is a crucial thing, that none were ever launched to space. Okay. So a key difference between Nerva and Draco, this one is new, is that Nerva used weapon grade uranium for its reactors, while Draco will be using a less enriched form of uranium. The question came in prelims. Okay, that how much a uranium has to be enriched for it to make weapon grade. Okay, is 20% enriched uranium become weapon grade or not? Or how much it has to be enriched? So you tell me that in the comment section. One more thing is, the reactor would not be turned on until it reaches space, part of precaution to minimize the possibility of a radioactive accident on Earth. Okay, let's come to the last news, which is what is Toshakhana case. So this person you all must be knowing, he is Pakistan early ex-PM, Imran Khan, now he's arrested. So Toshakhana controversy came to this just a simple question can come in small exam, that the Toshakhana case related to which of these following leaders. Alright. So came to the forefront in August 2022 when the coalition government led by PM Muslim League Nawaz PMLN filed a case against Imran, claimed that he did not disclose information of gift presented to Toshakhana. Toshakhana is what? Basically gift treasury of the country of Pakistan as a proceed from the illegal sale of some of the gifts. Established in 1974, Toshakhana is a department under the administrative control of the Cabinet Division, which stores gifts and other expensive items received by public officials. According to these rules, it's compulsory for officials to report the gifts and other such materials received by them to the Cabinet Division. But Imran Khan didn't do this, so he got into a controversy, basically, and this is the Toshakhana case. So just remember, it is related to Pakistan and Imran Khan. Alright, there's not much to learn into this. So this was a lecture, and I hope you enjoyed it. Keep studying, keep growing. I'll be coming with more videos soon. There is a little delay from my side in uploading lectures and little discontinuity. This is because of I have torn my ACL. This is anterior cruciate ligament. It is one ligament. Ligament basically is there are two structures. This is muscle and this is bone. The connecting part is tendon. And when bone is connected with another bone, then it is called a ligament. I have torn my ACL ligament, anterior cruciate ligament, which connects the femur. This is the condyle of femur to the tibia bone. This is our shin bone and the thigh bone basically. Alright, so I have broken this and I'm undergoing a surgery very soon. So that's why there has been a discontinuity in the lecture uploading. But I'll try to be on time very, very soon. So thank you very much. I hope and wish a very good health to you. Keep studying, keep growing, and I'll see you soon. This is Yatharth here signing off.